The 12 and the Journey, a bedtime story from Gospel of Matthew chapter 10. The morning sun stretched slowly across the hills of Galilee, painting golden light over olive trees and stone paths. Birds began their song as the village stirred awake, but one small hilltop was already full of life. There, in the soft hush of dawn, stood Jesus, looking out over the countryside, waiting with the calmness of one who knew the hearts of all men. One by one, they came to him, 12 friends, each different, each chosen. They had followed him through villages and storms, through questions and miracles. But today, something was different. Today was a beginning. The calling of the 12 Jesus sat beneath a fig tree, the leaves whispering above. As the 12 gathered, he spoke their names with warmth. Peter, the rock. Andrew, your brother, who walks in peace. James, son of Zebedee, strong and steady. John, with a heart that listens. Philip, the thoughtful. Bartholomew, the quiet one with eyes that see deeply. Thomas, whose doubts will become faith like fire. Matthew, the one who walked away from coins and toward grace. James, son of Alphaeus, small but brave. Thaddeus, full of questions and gentle wisdom. Simon the Zealot, passionate and loyal. And Judas Iscariot, whose journey will be sorrowful, yet still part of the plan. The disciples looked at one another, not with pride, but awe. Why them? Why now? Jesus smiled, as if he knew their thoughts. Descending, he rose and spoke, his voice like water over stone. Calm, clear, deep. I am sending you out, he said, like sheep among wolves. So be as wise as serpents and as gentle as doves. The wind stirred the grass around their feet. You will go, not to the distant lands, not yet, but to the lost sheep of Israel. You will speak peace where there is chaos. You will heal where there is pain. You will cast out darkness, not with force, but with light. The 12 listened with quiet hearts. The journey ahead felt both mysterious and sacred. Take nothing for the road, Jesus said. No gold, no silver, not even a bag for your journey. The worker is worth his keep, and God will provide. Into the villages, and so the disciples went, 2 by 2, into the towns and villages. Peter and Andrew walked through wheat fields, stopping at homes where children played and parents wept. In one village, a woman with a bent back straightened as Peter placed a hand on her shoulder. The kingdom of heaven is near, he whispered. She stood tall for the first time in years. James and John entered a market square where arguments echoed like thunder. John knelt beside an old man with clouded eyes and said, "Peace be with you." The man's vision cleared, and so did the anger in the crowd. Thomas and Matthew, though unsure at first, found that every word they spoke was filled with power, not from themselves, but from the one who had sent them. A house of peace. In one quiet village by the sea, Bartholomew and Thaddeus knocked on the door of a humble home. The family inside welcomed them with bread and figs and warm smiles. "Peace be upon this house," they said, and peace came. Not a loud miracle, but something better, a gentle warmth that filled every room. The family, once burdened by worry, now laughed together around the fire. They asked about Jesus. "He is the teacher," Thaddeus said, "but more than that, he is the light we've been waiting for." Yeah, when they were not welcome, not every village opened its doors. Simon and Judas came to a town where the people scoffed. "We do not need your message," they said. "We are well." The two disciples did not argue. They turned, as Jesus had told them, and shook the dust from their sandals. Even in rejection, there was peace, for they carried no anger, only love. Encouragement in the night each night, wherever they were, on a rooftop, beneath a tree, in a barn beside resting animals, they remembered Jesus' words. "Do not be afraid," he had said, "for every hair on your head is counted. You are worth more than sparrows, and not one of them falls without your Father knowing." In the darkness, those words were like stars. They thought of him, walking somewhere beneath the same moon, teaching, praying, preparing. The return? After many days, the 12 returned. They met once again on the hill in Galilee, where the fig tree offered shade. Each disciple shared their story, not boasting, but marveling. "We healed in your name. We were welcomed, and we were rejected. But always, we felt your presence." Jesus listened, his eyes soft with pride. "You have done well," he said. "But do not rejoice only because spirits submitted. Rejoice because your names are written in heaven." The disciples rested, the journey still warm in their bones. Around them, the hills held the glow of sunset. The sea, in the distance, shimmered like polished glass. They sat with their teacher, no words needed. And so, dear one, as you lie down tonight, think of those 12, ordinary people sent with extraordinary love. Know that you too are called, maybe not to far-off lands, but to kindness, to courage, to love that walks gently, speaks truthfully, and believes boldly. Jesus sends us all into the world with no gold, but with grace, no sword, but with peace. Rest now, let your heart be still, and sleep in the knowing that you are chosen, known, and loved, always.